Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Know Better, Do Better with Jess. We're up to day 11 of my daily video Christmas countdown. I'm sorry I missed yesterday, the voice wasn't doing so hot. It's okay today, we're going to see how it goes. Today I'm going to read you The Little Match Girl by Hans Christian Andersen, and then after that I'm going to tell you about my top 3 favorite children's charities. Here we go. The Little Match Girl. It was so terribly cold. Snow was falling and it was almost dark. Evening came on, the last evening of the year. In the cold and gloom, a poor little girl, bareheaded and barefoot, was walking through the streets. Of course, when she had left her house, she had slippers on, but what good had they been? They were very big slippers, way too big for her, for they belonged to her mother. The little girl had lost them running across the road, where 2 carriages had rattled by terribly fast. One slipper she had not been able to find again, and a boy had run off with the other, saying he could use it very well as a cradle some day when he had children of his own. And so the little girl walked on her naked feet, which were quite red and blue with the cold. In an old apron she carried several packages of matches, and she held a box of them in her hand. No one had bought any from her all day long, and no one had given her a cent. Shivering with cold and hunger, she crept along, a picture of misery. Poor little girl. The snowflakes fell on her long, fair hair, which hung in pretty curls over her neck. And all the window lights were shining. There was a wonderful smell of roast goose, for it was New Year's Eve. Yes, she had thought of that. In a corner formed by 2 houses, one of which projected further out in the street than the other, she sat down and drew up her little feet under her. She was getting colder and colder, but she did not dare go home, for she had sold no matches, nor earned a single cent, and her father would surely beat her. Besides, it was cold at home, for they had nothing over them but a roof through which the wind whistled, even though the biggest cracks had been stuffed with straw and rags. Her hands were almost dead with cold. Oh, how much one little match might warm her, if she could only take one from the box and rub it against the wall and warm her hands. She drew one out. How it sputtered and burned. It made a warm, bright flame, like a little candle, as she held her hands over it, but it gave a strange light. It really seemed to the little girl as if she were sitting before a great iron stove with shimmering brass knobs and a brass cover. How wonderfully the fire burned! How comfortable it was! The youngster stretched out her feet to warm them too. Then the little flame went out. The stove vanished, and she had only the remains of the burnt match in her hand. She struck another match against the wall. It burned brightly, and when the light fell upon the wall it became transparent like a thin veil, and she could see through it into a room. On the table a snow-white cloth was spread, and on it stood a shining dinner service. The roast goose steamed gloriously, stuffed with apples and prunes, and what was still better, the goose jumped down from the dish and waddled along the floor with a knife and a fork in its breast, right over to the little girl. Then the match went out, and she could see only the thick, cold wall. She lighted another match. Then she was sitting under the most beautiful Christmas tree. It was much larger and much more beautiful than the one she had seen last Christmas through the glass door at the rich merchant's home. Thousands of candles burned on the green branches, and colored pictures like those in the print shops looked down at her. The little girl reached both of her hands towards them. Then the match went out, but the Christmas lights mounted higher. She saw them now as bright stars in the sky. One of them fell down, forming a long line of fire. Now someone is dying, thought the little girl, for her old grandmother, the only person who had loved her, and who was now dead, had told her that when a star fell down, a soul went up to God. She rubbed another match against the wall. It became bright again, and in the glow the old grandmother stood clear and shining, kind and lovely. "Grandmother," called the child, "oh, take me with you. I know you will disappear when the match is burned out. You'll vanish like the warm stove, the wonderful roast goose, and the beautiful big Christmas tree." And she quickly struck the whole bundle of matches, for she wished to keep her grandmother with her, and the matches burned with such a glow that it became brighter than daylight. Grandmother had never been so grand and beautiful. She took the little girl in her arms, and both of them flew in brightness and joy above the earth, very, very high, and up there was neither cold nor hunger nor fear. They were with God. But in the corner, Leaning against the wall sat the little girl with red cheeks and a smiling mouth, frozen to death on the last evening of the old year. The New Year's sun rose upon a little pathetic figure. The child sat there, stiff and cold, holding the matches, of which one bundle was almost burned. She wanted to warm herself, the people said. No one imagined what beautiful things she had seen, and how happily she had gone with her old grandmother into the bright new year. The end. I know it's kind of a sad story, but I'm a big fan of Hans Christian Andersen, and I think sometimes we tend to forget some of the people that have less than we do, and it's a good reminder that there are kids out there that aren't going to get gifts or are homeless or any number of things, especially this year. So I really wanted to take a minute to read one of these stories and to talk about my favorite children's charities that you can donate to at Christmas. So, Give Kids the World Village is located in Kissimmee, Florida. They take chronically ill kids and their families in to their 86-acre park, and they give them a vacation. They include all of the meals, all transportation. They have donated theme park tickets to all the major attractions in Florida, and they stay there for absolutely free for an entire week.
Hi, I'm Cami, and I want to tell you about one of the most amazing places in the world, Give Kids the World Village. It's a magical place where kids with critical illnesses come from all over the world to fulfill one big wish, to visit Central Florida's most awesome theme parks. When my family and I came here, we were treated to the trip of a lifetime. From our fairy tale villa to the pool parties and nightly entertainment, this 84-acre resort was not just a hotel. It was more than we ever dreamed. We got to ride horses, play miniature golf, dive into VR, and that's not even the coolest part. My whole family got tickets to the area's best attractions where we got to ride the rides and enjoy the thrills all day long. Oh, and I almost forgot. The meals are great and they have ice cream, like even for breakfast. Now, this probably all sounds unbelievable, but it's true. Give Kids the World Village is an awesome place that gives special kids and their families what they need more than anything. A chance to forget about doctors and treatments for a while and just have fun. And you won't believe this, but this fantasy vacation doesn't cost kids or their families a thing. Nope. They count on the support of caring people and companies to keep the magic alive and kids laughing. To learn how you can help, visit GiveKidsTheWorld.org.
Toys for Tots was started back in the 1920s by a Marine veteran and his wife who donated the very first toy, which was a homemade Raggedy Ann doll. It's been closely associated with the Marines since its founding, and another one of the most famous celebrities at the basic inception was Walt Disney, who was also a Marine veteran. He drew the logo, and Disney has been a major sponsor of Toys for Tots for years. It's also considered a local charity, even though it's nationwide. Whatever you donate will go into the community where it's donated.
The Marine Toys for Tots program has become a tradition for the Marine Corps. For 63 years, the first Toys for Tots poster was designed by Walt Disney. That little three-car train is the Toys for Tots logo. Over the years, many other celebrities have supported Toys for Tots. Shaq is back, and we're really excited about that. One of our major corporate sponsors is Toys R Us. They came up with a great idea of working with Shaq O'Neal. He has great affection for children.
14 million kids will wake up and will not receive not one gift. I care. That's why I'm doing it. Well, I have 6 children on my own, so I know what's hot, I know what's not hot. And not only that, I'm a kid myself. So we just picked out a lot of toys and we put it on the Marine truck.
Just drop that toy in the barrel, and the Marines will make sure that a less fortunate child gets it.
We pick up the toys, bring it back to our warehouse, and sort the toys. Then from there, we distribute them out to the families in need for that particular area.
We'll get feedback over the years from individuals, and it's amazing how that sticks.
I had lost my husband. He had a massive heart attack. My kids, for Christmas, they thought they wasn't going to get anything because they knew I had no money. Because we received a fire truck. One of my sons is now a firefighter. Toys of Tots made it possible to make my kids' dreams come true.
The gift of a new toy at Christmas time really does send a message of hope to that less fortunate child.
We serve as Marines. We're also here to serve our community and providing toys to our children. And we'll keep that tradition going for as long as we can.
Okay, guys, now I've saved the best for last. Shriners Hospital for Children is a big deal to me because I've grown up with it. My dad is a Shriner. But little did I know, whenever my third son was born, he would need the care of Shriners Hospital. When he was born, he had a pretty severe case of club feet in both legs. And the doctors at the hospital kind of tried to cover it up and didn't want to talk about it and just said, whenever you go to the pediatrician, ask them what they think about it. And I'll never forget, here's Elijah, less than a week old. And the doctor looked at me and said, "Get that boy an education, he'll never walk." So we didn't take that answer. So we called around and we got Elijah and a referral to Children's Hospital in Lexington, Kentucky. We were really lucky. We lived in Frankfort at the time, so it was only about 45 minutes away. But it's an orthopedic hospital. So they also have burn hospitals, and inside of the orthopedic hospitals, now they treat spinal cord and sports injuries and craniofacial problems like cleft palate and stuff like that. They've really expanded even since we've been there. So, back to Elijah. We were there before Christmas. We took our 2 older boys with us when we went, and we actually got to see Santa Claus the first day. That was a big deal at the first appointment. All the kids got to see Santa Claus. And when I say they took care of Elijah, they took care of the whole family. Even though, we were new, it was our first appointment, they just fawned over all 3 of the kids, not just Elijah, but the other 2. They all left with presents that day. They all left with blankets, like handmade blankets. They have all kinds of volunteers that are there all the time, either to, play with the kids, do crafts with the kids, whatever. But a lot of people donate, handmade blankets, toys, you name it. They have all kinds of stuff that they do. But as part of, one of the benefits of it being a Shriners Hospital, you don't pay for anything. If you have medical insurance, they'll bill insurance, but they make sure that you don't have to pay a penny for it. Not only that, if you need transportation, they will call your local temple, Masonic temple, and Shriners will come pick you up and drive you to the hospital and take you back. They will cover hotel stays. They have hotels around each hospital that they partner with and get really low rates, but they pay for the hotels. All of your meals and stuff. They fed us, I don't know how many times we were there. They have all kinds of stuff inside the hospital, and it doesn't feel like a hospital. It kind of feels like a resort. There's basketball courts, there's a food court. It didn't feel like a hospital cafeteria. There's games all over the place. There's full wall murals everywhere. It just never felt like a hospital. And the doctors and the nurses there were amazing. The first day that we were there, we met with a team of people and nurses, and they just fawned over Elijah. So the group of doctors said, he's got club feet, and we know just who to call. And so our next appointment was a week later. So we were in the care of Shriners Hospital for 2 years, and we were there the first year and a half, every single week, just about. They got the nation's best doctor from New York City, and he flew down every single Monday, and the only patient that he had was Elijah. We were his only family. So we saw him every single week, and a really good team of nurses, and they used to fight every week on who would give Elijah a bath. He had cast from his toes to his hips on both legs, so he couldn't get wet all week. So he got a weekly bath whenever they had to soak the cast off of his legs. And he was such a good baby. All the nurses were like, "Yeah, I want that one," because you can imagine the kids that they do have and take care of, and they're amazing with, but they're in a lot of pain. Elijah wasn't, and we were really lucky that way. Gosh, when we went, I really thought, woe is me, how awful is this? Elijah's never going to walk. But when you go in there and you see the other kids that they're treating, I've often told people when they complain, if you took everybody that you knew and they all threw their problems in the middle of the floor, you would take yours back. And that's really, really true when you go to a hospital like this. But to make a 2-year story kind of short, they cast his legs every week for months and months and months, and then he had surgery, and then he had these special shoes that he had to wear 23 hours a day that kept his legs straight and this kind of stuff. But I mean, we met so many really great families. We had amazing doctors and nurses. I've never been anywhere that was even remotely close to how amazing the hospital was to us. So that's definitely my favorite charity. And so if you find yourself and want to give to a certain place, give it to the Shriners. It's not all about crazy guys in little red fez hats driving around clown cars or the Shrine Circus and all of that. Those are a lot of fun, and if you have a chance to see them, I would encourage you to do it. But they really do take care of a lot of really amazing kids, and they have now for a long time.
Imagine a kid who's told his disability will be a lifelong struggle. Now imagine a place where that same kid is told he can do anything. I don't have to imagine, because that kid is me. And that place is Shriners Hospitals for Children.
For over 90 years, Shriners Hospitals for Children has helped bring hope to children and their families, regardless of their ability to pay.
Because of Shriners Hospitals for Children, I can play basketball. I can paint.
I can play hockey.
I can climb stairs.
I can write my name.
$19 a month from people like you let Shriners Hospitals for Children help kids like me.
Will you send your love to the rescue today?
You're not just giving a child the care they need. You're giving them
hope,
strength,
joy, independence. But we can't do it without you. Just 63 cents a day can change a kid's life forever, like it did for me.
Will you send your love to the rescue today?
Your call says you care.
Your gift, no matter how small it is, can help a kid like me.
Like me.
like Andrea.
When you call today, we'll send you this adorable Love to the Rescue blanket as a thank you and a reminder of the love you gave to a kid just like me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you for giving.
Because of you, we see lives changed every day.
Call or go online now.
If operators are busy, call again or go online to loveshriners.org today. Your call says you care.
The end of the video. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure you like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on the notifications if you want to see some more of my videos every day. So, the question of the day: what is your favorite way to give back at the holidays? Until next time, bye.